Welcome everyone to another RGL cast. My name is Jared. I'm here with Space Ghost to bring you guys the Covenant versus 3D3M. This is RGL Invite 6's Season 11, Week 7A, and this is going to be a nice little rematch. I mean, besides the match that happened beforehand, both these teams have had, a pretty good start to their season. The second half of their season where you start to have the rematches go underway. The Covenant had that nice upset win versus Tech, and 3D3M have shown that their earlier matches they had against teams like TMO6 and Thrombology, they're able to correct some things and have a more dominating scoreline this time around. But between these two teams, their streak of having better results will end. And what a better match to have it on than a repeat, not in more than just one ways, but two different ways. Because not only was this another one of the amazing games that kind of made mid-invite in particular a little bit wacky. It was a 3-2 in Covenant's favor on Snakewater, but Covenant have decided that they're just running it back. The pick bands were almost exactly the same, and we are once again playing Snakewater here tonight to see if the scoreline will change any at all.
Yeah, going to be deja vu from a couple days ago when we saw the Covenant on this map versus Tech, where they came out pretty dominant. Covenant actually has played a fair amount of Snakewater this season. I believe this is their this is going to be their fourth Snakewater match this season. No, third.
Yeah, Snake's a popular one.
Although, actually, there's their fourth. They've played their week 8 match already. So, Snakewater, popular map. They do seem to enjoy it, and I don't blame them. It is kind of a TF2 staple / classic at this point. So I'm not going to fault them too much, but yeah, Covenant versus 3D3M. I feel like 3D3M definitely going to be the underdogs here, but they're no slouches, especially since they got Dank back, who was their new main medic.
Mm-hmm. He should definitely add a lot to the team, but if you take a look at the pick bands, I think the only thing that's really different is a process ban instead of a sunshine one for the previous pick bands. And then maybe there was something swapped, like maybe one of the other teams got rid of one of the upset maps. But either way, it's the same thing where you have a snake, metal, and then like a very large open like scout map, like process sunshine left in the pool.
Yeah.
And 3D3M picked the first time around, had an idea to go in with it, and it was okay. They did some damage, almost got, the victory at the end. Covenant still holding on, and I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen for the Covenant side in particular, because they are just completely like, no, we know exactly what went wrong. It will not happen again, and are just running it back. Although, I guess technically this is probably post-roster change, so that will also play a little bit into it. But speaking of post-roster change, it's probably important to go over the roster, so why don't we go over and start doing that, Space?
Indeed. I'll go over the Covenant. So, for the side of the Covenant, we have Exile and Scratch on Scout, Grape Juice and Kev on Soldier, Sam on Demoman, and AZN on Medic.
And for the side of 3D3M, you have Rakuso and Raph on Scout, Walrex and Pauldog on Soldier, Nooch, aka Vati, on Demo, and Dank on Medic.
Indeed, we do have some roster swap-ups here and there for both teams, but these seems to be their main rosters, at least for the rest of the season, barring any unforeseen disasters.
Do note, it's Exile, not Shamu.
Yeah, Exile.
It was because Shamu was on the screen. Shamu was like the first, after they did the roster shuffle, Shamu was like the first scout they played with, and then afterwards they've been playing with Exile since.
Yeah, but Exile's been last time we saw him against Fro, Exile made some big plays. Definitely, I think he slotted in quite nicely into the Covenant's playstyle overall. So I don't think it's I don't think there's really any rust there. It's Scout, and Exile seems very comfortable in the role, just running around clicking on guys. 3D3M also, they showed that they were pretty well. There was
some more uniform.
There were some hiccups yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yeah.
That was with a ringer.
There was a couple of hiccups yesterday, but it was with a ringer. And overall, in the end, they did get the dub. That is all that matters. So, moving on, the Covenant versus 3D3M. I think if the Covenant wins this, they're basically locked in for playoffs, something like that.
Yeah, for the side of 3D3M, I think, okay, realistically, the playoffs is kind of locked on who the 4 teams are, but for the side of 3D3M, who is looking like they're going to be like the 5th place team, if they were to ever, like, even with their major penalty of having half a win less from the minor stacking up, if they were to somehow sneak their way technically into 4th place, the 4th seed, they would have to win not only versus the Covenant, but also GPG, most likely. So this is one of those, like, if you still have hopes and dreams, then you have to win this, or it's pretty much all over. You move on to like beating Froyo or something instead,
which is a lot tougher.
and even
presumably a lot tougher.
Yeah, so this your last bit of energy here to try to really get to it. But even still, I'm sure these guys would much rather have a scoreline of something like 5th at the end of the season rather than 6th. And considering how the first half of the season went, which was really wacky, that tons of teams that were middle of the pack were doing really good against some of the playoff teams and actually not doing so great versus some of the lower invite teams even losing against them. So you can't even look at the standings and be like, oh yeah, okay, they'll beat these guys, probably lose to these guys, because those predictions, if anything, have shown that you can't really trust them. Anything can really happen. So it's going to be an important one. Get some rounds, maybe get a win and solidify yourselves as a high seed as possible. And for the side of the Covenant, I'm sure this is, I mean, they're probably confident in themselves. They know that they're their favorites. Might be just another day at the office, but we'll see exactly how close it actually is, because as mentioned before, it was a 3-2, and I'm sure the Covenant is going to try to have a repeat victory, but with a more dominant scoreline, and 3-3. I'm going to try to give it that last final inch to seal the deal. But on to predictions, space. A lot to consider, a lot of variables. You have the player differences, you have time of the teams improving, roster changes, and the decision to run it back on a map that you've already faced on once before. What do you think the final score is going to be?
I think that Covenant are going to be favored here. Question is by how much and what's the game flow of the game. It is the Covenant, so I don't know if we're going to 5. If we are,
True.
it's gonna. I feel like we'll see some banners, we'll see some shenanigans, all that good stuff. I think 3D3M will put up enough of a fight. I think this has the potential to be pretty close again. It is the 4th versus the 5th seed currently, so in the standings they're pretty close, even if their records aren't super close. I'm gonna say like a 4-2 for the Covenant.
I very much agree that this is probably going to be a slow game. Not only is it Snake, which doesn't inherently play fast, you can try to make it slow if you want to, even though it's no metalworks or anything like that, right? But we've seen, how teams can play on Snakewater plenty of times before, and these teams are pretty close, which means it's not going to be that hard to, end up in a stalemate scenario that takes a bit to kind of resolve. No rolling over after mid fights. At least you'd hope so. No complete wipes to last as a trending theme, maybe once or twice, but okay. Before I get into my final prediction, late news, Paul Dogs isn't feeling so well. It's kind of ill, so they are ringing Kryptonite.
A Kryptonite, long time old player, been around. I think Kryptonite's a perfect ringer. Slots in quite nicely.
Yep, and he's not active in the league, but he still pugs every now and then, so it's not like, oh, I haven't played TF2 in 3
time to
months.
dust off the old keyboard.
So it should be relatively fine. There might be some small synergy issues when it comes to the combo, maybe, but otherwise, it should be relatively okay. I still think it's not really going to do too much in their favor, though, for sure. I still, definitely believe the Covenant are going to be the favorites. I'll say like a 3-1. We're not going to 5. The game's going to slow down. 3-3M will do a little bit of work in to find around somewhere, but Covenant will kind of have a handle on the match, I think.
I think so. Speaking of having a handle on things, whose server are we on tonight? It is that team after all.
The STV says low tier TV, so I'm assuming that's the Covenant.
Yeah, that's probably the Covenant. All right, so hopefully there will be no raw config shenanigans again. It seems that the league has learned the lesson and refused to give 3D3M the server privileges.
Yeah, if it's the wrong config, it's not 3D3M's fault.
Yeah, at least hopefully. Well, maybe it's just they have a sheer aura that just disables the config.
Maybe.
I think it's plausible.
You just eventually curse it.
Yeah, once you get that reputation, you're just cursed. It's always your fault, even if it's not actually your fault. But
all right, well, one thing I would kind of ask is, what do we expect to see on Snakewater? But I think we've already the difficult thing about teams that want to play slow is that it can be kind of difficult in some moments as the other team to really prevent it from happening tenfold, unless you're just that much better than them. And I don't know if we're going to really see that here. So I would ask, what do you expect to see tonight? But I think it's kind of you have your standard answers, right? Like sniper, banners, couple stalemates.
I think we could see some extra shenanigans tonight. I think it's possible. We got enough memers in here that it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if Kev pulled out some tech to experiment with tonight.
Heavy to mid, crits.
Heavy to mid, yeah, who knows? Crits. Do you think that the Covenant's a crits kind of team? I don't know if they're a crits kind of team. I feel like maybe a Kev crits. I can see that.
You usually need either your demo or your medic to be I want crits type of person. And I don't know if...
I don't think either of them are, but I could also I could see Kev doing that. But he's on pocket. I don't know if he would do that, but I could see a timeline where that's possible.
He wouldn't ask for it unless he's getting it.
And I don't think that's the thing. If he's asking for a crit, it's gonna be a Kev crits.
Maybe if it was a pug, then he would take a pocket crits.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's gonna fly.
Probably not. Yeah.
I think if anyone, maybe Dank will eventually go crits. Maybe he'll see an opportunity. We'll just crits through lower, and he'll just take it upon himself. But I can't see VOD or Sam or Azen deciding like, hey, crits is the play, is like a prediction, you know?
Yeah. And we've been speaking a lot about the Covenant, but 3D3M, no slashers themselves. I think Dank, I think Dank's one of the better medics actively playing, so I think that's definitely. I think their roster is in better shape now than in the beginning of the season. Dank is just a very, very good player. And I think it's pretty easy to slot in Dank, regardless of whether he's main calling or just supplemental calling or what. So I don't know. I think the standout players, it's gonna be Scouts and Body. What do you think on 33M?
I actually think that despite being a new addition and everyone on the roster being pretty good, I think Dank is going to be one of the more valuable assets to their team as a player. I think the comms and the ability to keep the team like cohesive is going to be very important. If you don't have that, it doesn't matter that your team's DM monsters, because you're kind of all over the place. And I think having that kind of player on your team, before you even factor in the skill level, is just like such a necessary thing that I think that's going to be the thing that will really keep 3D3M in the game.
I think I made the predictions go up by 3 minutes single-handedly by betting a high number. Doing my part.
Oh, because it's average, right?
Yeah, because it's average. So
Did
like,
you just say it's an hour-long match.
I literally put it in 59 and just watched it go up. I used the same thing on you can do that on the RGL cast on payload. You can make it go really high or really low if you get in early. It's a good meme / shenanigan to do. But we have all 12 in the server. Just waiting on people already up. We see some sniper off classes in the pregame. But I guess thinking about Snakewater, we've seen what the Covenant likes to do. And you have mentioned that the map does this is one of those maps you can kind of slow down. Not to the extent of Metalworks, but it's not like a super giga fast-paced map comparatively to Metalworks or some of the other maps in general. But I think against Snakewater, I feel like we're going to see the Covenant either pick this map in playoffs or it's going to get banned against them. It feels like one of their strength maps. Would you say that?
I
mean, they did beat Freyo on it.
I think it's probably one of the upper halves of their maps. But also you have to keep in mind is like, eventually you throw in a map and you have all your strats out on the table to like win important matches. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, when people start countering it, how good are your plan Bs? Because you show up with a plan A, doesn't really, get foiled too much, and it works out in your favor. But then when people start to counter, are you still able to be flexible enough to stay on top of things? So they showed they're good on Snakewater with their initial ideas. But if those initial ideas ever get tested again, it could very easily, in time, maybe a week or two, no longer be a dominant map when teams start to figure out like, oh, just do this, and then you win, and it's fine. And then, they're in that position now where they have to start make adjustments, and they might not know what to do. So I think it's something that needs to be seen as time goes on. Maybe if we see more Snakewater matches, or we even see the pick bans as playoff rolls in, we'll get a better idea. But we are in the present now, and the present is the match going live between the Covenant and 3D3M. So, Space. Really excited to see what's going to happen. Both demos rolling out. We are arriving at our first mid-fight.
They are indeed arriving at our first mid. Both demos, actually one demo went Sol, one demo went lower, so a bit of a health difference here. As Sam's going to take some immediate damage, going to get both, going to get nice and healthy. As Sam is starting to arrive, I see some scouts on the high ground, not really much high ground, and actually Excel's going to fall in flank us. Blue team, the Covenant is just streaming forward right now. Their med's quad out, AZN's trying to be careful. This is looking like a disaster for the Covenant right off the gate.
Well, the bomb on the tank, though.
Bomb onto Dank is going to get him, but that is the consolation prize. Well, maybe not. As Scratch is running in, he gets Recruso, and he gets air shot by Crypt. Crypt, that's the ringer air shot. Love to see it.
Yeah, like I said, he might not be playing in the league, but he has definitely touched TF2 in the past week or so. He's ready for this match, even though he might not have expected to play it. But I mean, the Covenant, they tried to push across the point. They tried to collect a bunch of kills. They barely got enough. I mean, they got a couple kills, but they were definitely stuck in that lane for a long while. There was not really any way for them to kite out. Got mulched pretty decently, so but Walrex hiding in under the bridge.
He's playing some espionage gaming right now. Asian's looking straight at him through the wall because just trying to buff his players. And Walrex is playing for the long con right now. And red team trying to get pressure off this. Blue team's probably like, they only have 10%.
He's on the move.
He's on the move. Oh, wait, he missed his direct. He's in on Asian. Asian has no idea that's going to be a medic down. Heads up play by Walrex. They're going behind. But in the meantime, they got Asian, but they got free. And Kev's behind. Kev's on the counter flank. Kev, the damage. He's insane.
It was a good play from 3D3M, but they definitely gave up way too much for it. You just need to draw eyes so they don't see Walrex waddling out underneath the bridge. And they did that, but it did a little bit too much. And that's going to kind of bite them. It gave Kev the space to go ahead and go for that flank. And he gave up his life, but definitely got a lot more in return than the side of Walrex. So, good on paper. little small execution error, and the Covenant make use of it. It killed Dank. Have a nice ad to work with, although, I mean, depending on the building, it might not be too usable. They do have mid. Could dry, potentially, as they know that Dank is not quite on 2, and they are peeking around lower to see if that's possible.
They are indeed peeking lower, and they're getting a fair amount of space. Some players are just arriving. There's 2 players in Sol. There is a Sol fight happening, as it's going to be Walrex going to have to back up, and Recruso going to have to back up as well, but they get Grief Juice. They do get their man in the end. As Crypt, he is in Sol. He's getting some spam, and they're going to see if they can do anything off this pick, but they do have slight disad. They might know. They might be a little scared of it. Who knows?
It was like 20 or 25, but it's starting to... It's starting to dwindle a little bit. If you use this, you'd either have to walk early or just pop straight through, and it looks like they're going for that route.
Oh, they're
Sam,
actually going
he jumps
for
in,
it.
gets struggled a little bit, but is fine for now. I think he gets air shot or something, but
they get body,
which
though.
is a great demo pick. Recruits behind, eats the pack, a little bit weak, trying to fight Exile, but the 1v1 will not eventually happen. Bridge, the Uber comes out from the side of 3-3 and finally arriving. Warwick's on.
Oh, AZ gets caught out.
Misses one, misses 2 rockets. Azen's still alive. Exile and Kev dying for the side of and Scratch.
Oh, Recruso behind gets the 2-shot.
The collapse. I mean,
he just ran through Sol.
The initial Uber didn't get too much, but the chaos of it all was enough to buy enough time to make sure that they got enough people on the side of the Covenant to secure their own 2, and actually they're working their way through Saw now.
And Grape Juice in lower, he's kind of going for a flank. Crypt is going to be able to spot it. Grape Juice going to bomb out, trying to preserve his life, as Covenant doesn't really have the spawns to fight this. They have Kev on Sniper. He's doing the classic... He's doing the classic here, but Vadi actually is going to spot it. Kev's going to get body shot. Kev going for the hero shot, unable to get it. So Sniper down. Went for the sack, unable to get it, as the Covenant kind of on the back foot again. First they lost mid, but they came back, and now they're on the back foot again, building. Only 20% disad, but without Kev, 3D3M feel pretty comfortable just walking in here.
Oh, they stacked the point correctly to make sure Kev didn't get a spawn, but they died. They lost Raph to a trap, so the player they would have is no longer there. But
it's a scout, yeah.
The Covenant, not only is it just a scout, but the Covenant had already kind of committed to being at last. They had the positioning there. They were going back to build the gun. Definitely didn't expect that trap, and they had small disad anyway, so it would have to be much more than that. Not realistic, so it kind of makes sense that its opportunity a bit lost is pretty much even now as the free point of second has been taken. They know where the gun is. It was spotted and spammed down a bit as it got repositioned. So still for now, still a thorn in their side. But as it gets rebuilt, the bomb actually comes in, finding an opening, finding Azen alone. 1 rocket.
Oh, he missed it. No.
Will die. 1 rocket is not enough as Azen will hit the resup and be fine. As actually, you have another soldier on the move. Grape Juice, and he got immediately denied and piped down by the side of body. So overall 1-for-1 trade is Scratch. He's actually doing a bit of peeking. Nice headshot onto Walrex. Barely alive, but will escape. Escape planning away is actually sold on the kid. Kev wants to kill. He knows he's weak and knows what the pack that he would go to, but the jump away. Doesn't realize he's being chased. He's still unspotted. Kev is just looping around and will eventually escape, but the gun has died for all the chaos. They're running through lower. Sam weak. Will die. Maybe Kev too. And Kuso able to get the 2 kill. Maybe the 3 on the Exile.
Oh my god.
Crazy. The gun keeps getting rebuilt up and it's buying more and more space inside of 3D3M to walk themselves in. They're losing 2 though. No storms available.
Gets 2 as well.
If Exchange eventually comes out, then this post is not going to be favorable to the side of 3D3M unless they get a lot of kills here. Sam has respawned. Player advantage inside of the Covenant's favor, and 3D3M know this. So once again, a crazy play from Rakuso, but trying to execute the plan just doesn't really work out. Losing both your soldiers, it's going to be all for naught. As Trap almost kills Azen as well. The roller still barely
he's
alive.
so hurt.
34 HP.
Oh, they get Grape Juice, just trying to buy some space, and that they might be able to push off that damage if they're careful. There's no one through. There's no one through. Raph's just in, and they all have to look at it, which means they get through the door. But Kev doing a great job there, getting Raph, buying some space, and AZN's gonna fall as well. But there's just, I don't think they have the reinforcement for XL on Pudis. Not gonna matter. Scratches in, but they're all on the point. He can't deny it himself, and that's gonna be first round for 3D3M coming out the gate pretty hot against the Covenant.
That gun getting rebuilt and moved. I don't want to assume that it was like, oh, you hear the engineer voice line that he's moving his gun, and now it's time to sack. But that timing, even if it wasn't, that was crazy. Rakuso got in, the gun was building, wasn't able to shoot him, killed 3 people. They were eating damage and lower, and then didn't really work out near the end, but enough chaos ensued to make sure the deal was sealed as we are going to another mid, 3-3M, 1-0 in favor as spam goes across both sides. No one really committing, going for a fast bomb, but we'll eventually see that as some people are taking a little bit of damage, but not quite enough to bring them into the red health area. The medics regenerating their health, only tagged once, so it didn't seem like focusing the medics is going to be either team's plan. Just trying to see who the furthest person forward is and get some damage onto them, but no one's really fighting. There's actually very little control of the high ground beyond their top left area, but the bomb will finally come in. Oh, a little bit of a mistake bomb from one of the red soldiers, but it's actually made Scratch the first one to fall. Counter over the side of Walrex, miss air shots, Grape Juice will live, and Walrex will fall.
Kev,
Great bomb onto Kev, takes down Vadi. Uber available from both teams as Azen about to arrive, and overall 4v4 fight. They still want to fight this. Grape Juice bombing in, try to get onto the scouts. Raph will barely die. Nice rocket from Grape Juice to make sure he gets that kill, but 3-3M, they know that's a little too late for them to really work off of as they back up, recognize the loss, and just by a hair, are back to their own 2.
Now, Kryptonite might be a ringer, but he's definitely not playing like a ringer. He's been showing very dominant speed, which almost dodged. Matrix dodges the grapefruit air shot there. Got to be a little careful for those ones, as they're gonna actually settle into even Ubers. Covenant holding mid, 3D3M on second, and that looks like they're actually gonna go for some saw pressure immediately. They're gonna have their demo spam saw. Grapefruit's gonna bomb at the window, perhaps make eyes look at them, saw, then get out. But Kryptonite gonna pre-fire bomb the saw, gonna make sure it happens. It actually gets a good rock on Exile. Exile have to back up, but here comes the Grapefruit's bomb, and he's getting levitated.
He did not even get close to Dang.
He
tried to fade around Saw because he saw how bad it was going to be, but no dice there on trying to live. As they're trying to make some moves. Walrus is actually just jumping in. Same with Crypt. So much space from the side of 3D3M. They're actually not really covering these doors well for the side of the Covenant. They're finding Will Bomb, able to make sure that Crypt does die, so that counter sack does indeed go through, and overall be a 1-for-1 trade. Maybe a little bit late though, and Raph's actually taking a bunch of damage in lower, so have to be careful. Taking some ground, at least poke around and ground to see if they can bait another fragger, clean up on the damage they've previously done, but doesn't seem like they really want to commit to anything quite yet. I don't think Grape Juice is ready for a sack either, was a bit unhealthy and Saw, so we'll only try to jump through the window now. I think he just screwed up jumping through, so once again, not quite a...
The good old noggin slam on your head.
There, but they're just trying to make some noise. Actually, it's going to be 3-3M there. Both scouts were kind of poking in through Saw for a moment, but the ball's in Covenant's court. It's just up to them to really do something. Grape Juice and Kev are looking to make some space.
Yeah, Grape Juice actually, he's going to bomb behind through Cheese. Just going to draw some eyes. Kryptonite, or Walrus is going to have to back up and get some space. But 3D3M's doing a great job of spamming these doors, making sure things are pretty safe. And Grape Juice getting 2v1'd and Cheese going to be sad, going to die. I would expect an off cluster at this point, because the sacking into 2 has not worked. Grape Juice has been a very sad man trying to just sack into 2.
Yeah, I don't think Grape Juice is much of the off cluster, but nice arrow from Maze and take down Raph, so that wasn't even the counter sack target. He's just trying to make space. That's your combo scout right there, so Rakusa going to have to be on the ball for the soldier sacks. Yeah, I guess technically, but you don't want to, oh, okay, Exile, once again, speaking of scouts going down, we probably don't expect. It was a little bit deep, but we'll not really find too much there. But Valrex on the move, gets some damage onto Grape Juice. Actually might even die. Very low.
Kryptonite around the corner, though. Gotta be careful. Oh, he gets scratched, and he's
though.
on the pack. If he gets this pack, that's huge. Sam gonna try to...
3 more health than you need.
Oh,
he gets the
no way. Kryptonite's the best player in the game, in the server right now. He's just hiding in a corner, and he gets the force.
There's a reason why he's a solidified playoff player. He's nuts.
He's still in, too. He just lived throughout all of that.
He does not care.
He does not care, indeed, as he's going to actually go bomb. He's going to make some space, as the Covenant, they're still trying to fight this. They're AZN kind of alone in Kitchen. Going to have to back up, as... Yeah, they get Kev. They went back for Kev and got him, but at what cost? As they still have full Uber to work with.
Yeah, it's big enough, too, that going back for Kev, it only killed a little bit of time. And because I think they left through... Or no, Sam respawns, and they know the traps are going to be through lower because he spawns near there, so they just go Saw instead. They know there's no way any stickies are near here, and they are correct. They get through pretty much for free, and there's no sign of anyone on 2 after the respawners late setup, the Kev death. They're just at to last, trying to make sure they can get something, and something they do get, that is going to slow them down if they wanted to lead people, but...
It keeps happening. Wait, Kev's in forwards.
Kev forwards.
Yeah, Kev forwards on Sniper. This peak works almost every time, by the way.
I'm just on the Kev cam.
Yeah,
I'm ignoring the super. Oh, no, it's even now.
Yeah, this is the Giga long con.
Yeah, my overhead camera is literally just by Kev. I'm not looking at lobby or last.
Kev, there's no one gonna be looking. Oh, actually, no. Maybe he's trying to time it to where in their lobby. I think that's what he's trying to do. When he sees the, I think what he knows when they spot the medic, like on ramp or on like by the tiny door, that's when they're gonna fire. But
okay,
Kev
he's gonna wait until Walrex actually dies. Okay, eyes on Walrex. He'll peek because they'll back up out of lobby after the sat goes through, and that's the time he's probably looking for because he hasn't moved an inch. So I'm still waiting for a red death here before we actually see any movement from him.
Yeah,
he's basically. He's peeking now. He actually has it open.
He's peeking and he doesn't see anyone. Because someone's gonna back up eventually. It's only a matter of time.
They eventually leave lobby.
Yeah, Kryptonite peeking, but he's
screwed if someone needs ammo though and they go back, they'll see the sniper.
Yeah, they will, but
we'll see.
They get Rakusa. All right.
One rocket.
Oh, he got bodied. That's a great opening pick, and they get Crypt as well. So unintentional 3-man. As Kev's still in forwards, they have to go look back for him. Kev's still in forwards. They're gonna actually have to bomb back.
Force on a Dank. And they went to zone the sniper and left Dank alone. They only had 3 people alive.
It was either die to the sniper or get forced. One of the two, and they chose to get forced instead of dying to the sniper. So that was the long con. The meme ended up working in the end. So Kev, huge plays there, going to spawn back up on Soldier, and that was a magical way of playing forwards. You usually don't see people commit to it that hard.
patience pays off. Rakuso, a little bit ballsy of a peek inside, but will get shot down. Actually, it's Crypt that dies, actually. Rakuso gets out. Once they count a Dank, will eventually escape into grass.
But they got Sam.
Went too deep. I mean, you know, you start Ubered as a down man, but eventually that runs out, and you don't want to go too deep because you're going to die. And with no stickies available for the side of the blue team, Red, they're near Saw. They're getting through their other doorways. Rakuso on the flank. RGLgg's actually going through Saw to help the combo and making some room, but Kev behind doing a lot of damage, but Dank will live with 72 HP. You know, maybe stalled enough time for Sam to respawn and make sure this dry fight can work out in the Covenant's favor, but it's not going to be a dry fight for much longer. They know they have Disad. This Uber is arriving for the side of Dank. They're probably just going to leave one and continue to walk. Rakuso on the cap. They're moving through Saw. A nice ad to work with, still 50%. Mind the traps, though, that are recently put up by Sam. They're going to have to spot them. Mind the traps, and Ramp will die to them. They have no scout.
And they get
this drop from Kev. Kills Script. This pushes dead in the water.
The Kevin forwards, and Raph has died through traps 3 times now trying to push second. Raph had a rough time. Kev actually going to lead forwards, but RGLgg is going to trade him out. Says no more sniper for you. As that is going to be a 3-man pushing to second. They still do have Uber, but AZN rapidly approaching his Uber, going to be Insomnian. So we might see an exchange here on second, or on mid, as the players have arrived. The reinforcements have come.
Yeah, they got the respawners, so both teams want to stay. Oh, so much damage on the scratch at the same time is going to immediately kill things. Just got melted, and some damage onto the soldiers and their explosive classes from the side of the Covenant as well. But the Rocket, I don't think they expected Grape Juice to still be in here. He's trying to escape, but will get scattered down. Got some good initial damage, but not quite enough to really do much. It's going to give up his life for that. Kev inside Cheese, slowing some things down. But
he's getting bullied.
Gets a respectable amount of damage, but still gets
Exile.
Exile cleans up. He might be caught as well, unless he can get body. He might have misplaced.
Body
no,
hits the pipe.
Still alive, and this
Crypt is suffering.
This Uber, I mean, it's even, but they have so many picks to work off of. They're just kind of working their way through lower.
They're just walking in, and they
they
chose the hard read right there. But actually, nice sticky sig from Sam on the Walrex is gonna totally stuff this. Dank's still gonna preserve his Uber, so they got the forest, lost 2 for it, and unfortunate situation if you're a fan of the Covenant here, down around holding last with Uber Disad. But they do have some picks to work off of. It looks like that is going to be played. Grape Juice going to go in, going to buy some space, going to try to live, and he actually will live, and that's going to buy a lot of space. He's in, and they're actually going to get the force.
Yeah, made a lot of room, almost died, but it was so much space that Kev was able to get through, get really deep on a Dank, and this Uber, that's not where you want to start it if you have ad all the way on too. So going to be unable to really use that to break into last, and not only that, you're so far away, you can't really dry off the Kev pick because he's going to respawn by the time the fight really kicks off, and now you just have straight up Disad. So, I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to push out a Snakewater last with only like a 35% ad to work with. It's doable, but it's a little bit risky. And seeing as it's the Covenant in particular that have this ad, I wouldn't be too surprised if they don't fully commit, depending on how they see the positioning for the side of 383M. But considering their positioning, they might actually just go for it. And yeah, they're deciding to go through Bats, jumping in. Sam's going to go really deep here. Get Rakuso as one pick on the flank. Be mindful of the person near Cheese, but we'll back up. And overall, the Uber didn't get anything, but Rakuso just overstaying his welcome over near Cheese, I would assume, or somewhere around there near the flank side, and will eventually die. So technically getting one, but ad for the side of 383M.
Now we're in the classic leapfrog situation as Body and Raphael Dank gonna try to get through Saw here. Crypt also there, but they're taking their time. They know they have pretty big ads. So they don't have to rush anything, do anything too crazy.
Raphael just in lower.
Yeah, Kev is just in lower with XL, and that is a pause.
Yep. There's been some lag today from people's scripts.
Look at this,
so I would assume it's
lag,
but
you think who is this, Walrex or Crypt?
Yeah, it's Walrex.
You think Walrex eats this? This looks like a... Oh no, that's a Walrex direct. My bad. Yeah. Kev's the one who's about to die horribly.
Yeah, Kev's about to die. I mean, Kev and XL try to go for a blind timing. They knew exactly when they were going to get Uber. They did not predict that the push would be stalled to a point where they are actually waiting for Rakuso to respawn. They figured like, oh, they'll see him up, and then they'll start going, and then this timing here through lower, there'll be a single soldier ready to go, but, you know, Walrex was not very adventurous at all. He knew he was completely alone, and I guess Rakuso's not that close, but still the timing is a bit wonky. Thought that going around this corner would not be a big deal at all.
XL can trade it out.
XL can maybe trade it out, depending.
Kev actually surfed back, and XL's the one who's actually, and they're so hurt, they're gonna get Kev. XL may fall too if he's not careful. He's 6 HP in a dream, and he's gonna get the pack.
Grape got the fourth, landed on the awning, jumps away.
And he's actually, for now. Oh my god, he might live. He actually did live. Wow. Okay, so the Covenant in the end that ended up working out as Kev surfs. You know, it looked like Kev was standing still, but Kev actually was walking backwards when that rocket was going at him. Kev, reactions of just genius level reactions, backing up, preserving his life, getting the force from, or I guess Grape Juice got the force, but
yeah,
Kev was the initiator there, created a bit of chaos, which was enough to help things in there. As we have
comes out.
Someone is full sending, and Raphael is just running at the demo. Sam's gonna die. Sam too deep. Raphael, he's still alive. He has 1 HP.
And he goes arrow. He's able to do some damage to help clean up. Walrex dies of fall damage. Bomb from Kip to get some damage.
Gets the pack.
space made for Rakuso, though. Rakuso cleaning up just off the soldiers in the skybox. That's only Grape Juice left alive, and he has to get a 5k right now, and he gets the one, but will eventually die. Sam, last one left alive, respawning from the Uber that did not work out in his favor so much, and gets some damage around, but not enough to write home about his body. Is just AFK on the point. Gets the cap time, and 3D3M, they're up 2-0.
That might be that. They tech pause and exile.
Tech, yep.
Tech
Tech
and then
pause
crash,
here, and then exile crash. That's what it was.
Do you think the odds are that Exile like accidentally left the server or like did something and was just like, oh, I crashed, oops? I've seen people do that.
Yeah, there it was.
Yeah, I've seen people kill blind on. Like I know a specific instance of someone kill blinding during a pause during a match. It does happen.
They're still going to go to mid despite the fact that a scout is rolling out extremely late. So we'll see how that kind of. Yeah, look at 3-3. They know there's one less scout here. So much damage. They actually have to clean up one of these kills.
You can win 5v6 mids. It's possible. I've seen it happen.
But yeah, especially when 3-3 executes like this. They got damage and gave up wall wrecks, but they didn't actually do anything to get up all these red health players like, out and into the graveyard. So overall, it's just going to be pretty much feeding as they didn't fully commit to it. Losing Crypt as well. This is not a scenario that they're probably used to playing with as a little bit of a excuse for them, but still big misplay on how they're going to go through that and side of the Covenant. What would initially you consider maybe just a give up mid, they only lose 2 soldiers to take it in their favor.
I've had a theory for a while that 5v6 mids are just inherently cursed, and the team with 5 wins way more often than you'd think. I don't know why. It's just bait
because someone screws up.
Yeah,
like
it's always people think like, oh, it's fine. Then we go. Then people just feed, and then suddenly it's a 5v4 and they win. Like it happens all the time.
Did an insane amount of damage, no follow up. Everyone literally just got arrows. It could have been a Walrex death that could have gotten 2 kills, and that would have been acceptable, but that's not what happened. So
it is indeed not what happened. Is 70% ad for the Covenant trying to get back into this match. Maybe Exile crashing was the secret they needed to win. Yeah. Maybe
just a ruse.
It's just a ruse. As Exile's gonna take this Uber, gonna go lower. They're gonna pop pretty much immediately, so no milks there. As they're gonna get the sentry.
Oh, Raph, he tried to heal his gun. That's gonna get him killed. No engineer.
There's no stickies on the point. There's a single sticky there, but no one's also playing the point. You gotta play the point. There we go. Exile's playing on the point now. Raph on the Crusoe gonna get head on the point as it's gonna end up being a 1-2 for the Covenant. 11 minutes 40 seconds left in the match, and Covenant get a quick mid win with the 5v6. Get the match, or get the round.
Yeah.
So get him back into it.
Yeah, body onto dead stickies. It took them a bit to actually play the point, but when they actually hit the timing of getting on top of it, it doesn't seem like anyone from 33M was very prepared at all. They actually did a really good job of tying up the soldiers for the side of the Covenant to make sure that they didn't really have the health to bomb it right off the bat, and it kind of screwed them over at the end of the day. But on to another mid, this time a 6v6 one. Let's see if that ends up any better for either of these teams. Is a little bit of damage on the body, gets aired up and is fine. Some actually high gun control from the side of the Covenant, but not too dominant. It's actually 3-3M. They're going to take their own space, recognizing what's happening. But Crypt taking some damage, eats an arrow, and they're trying to ball off the damage, but Grape Juice too little too late. Arrow comes in too soon, but Raph dies again, and Body's dead. Sam's just on the other half of the map, inside
he's gonna
in no man's land, trying to
vaporized.
commit to Dank is not going to be successful. And overall, 1 player ad from the side of the Covenant is going to seal the deal. 3-3M don't want any of that anymore. Back to their own.
Actually, Dank Daisy go really fast on that bed. Must have been healing hurt players the whole time. As Dank, he's approaching his Uber, but doesn't have it quite yet. I don't know if they know. They might.
Sack coming in. Dank in the air.
He can't. He literally can't pop this. Okay. He gets his Uber now. But it's going to be kind of sketchy. As Crypt's going to get a bow, and the reinforcements are here. Blue backing up because they didn't see how hard Dank had to back up. That's going to be a sack in the end, even Ubers for both sides. And we're going to settle into the mid to second stalemate yet again.
Yeah, and they were so far back because Dank was unable to heal them because he was so weak himself that their positioning was not very good to, oh, hey, let's go for a counter sack, you know, or anything like that, especially because they had a bunch of people rolling out. So no retaliation from the side of 3-3M this time around, but kind of makes sense given the circumstances. If you try to go for a sack there, it'd be such a late death that it's almost a feed at that point. And, you know, definitely not the safer play. So the side of the Covenant still in the driver's seat. Mind these stickies near Saws. They're trying to clear them with 2 soldiers, which doesn't really work out that well, but the debt doesn't happen. And Grape Juice once again inside Cheese, but last time they just went back and killed him. We'll see if anything different happens this time. Nice leopard direct onto Walrex to do some damage, but it's going to be Exile that'll fall over on the side of the flank.
Scratch is going to fall as well.
No scouts available. Bottom of the tank,
gets the force, though.
Lands on top of him as well. Unable to surf there. Is tripped. I think he tried to make some space and go behind.
Both teams got the force, but one team lost 3 for it, and Crypt was the only one who got in.
And Rakusa's just on there, too.
Yeah, Rakusa's on there too, collecting packs, and look at the health. The health is not ideal here. Rakusa's already just in lobby, creating a lot of chaos. He's collecting all the packs. He's doing laps around. I think they know he's behind, but the question is, how do they deal with this? This is so annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to buy a lot of space.
Here comes the XL versus Recruso.
The only problem is they have to cap and they have to actually approach the door, which is...
Recruso is wasting so much time. It gets two-shot by XL. XL giving him the good old Timmy, as that's going to maybe signal some aggression. They're down to scouts, which make the sack easier, but the question is, how did they get through the doors? And it turns out Grapejuice just got behind, and he is all the way behind.
He just didn't really do too much damage to them, though. They're kind of on a body.
Oh,
now
he got so much damage. Dank, 20 HP back, and look how aggressive they're in.
Yeah, they know because he's
Crypt did so much damage, though.
Sam might die as well, but it's gonna be Raph and Crypt that'll eventually die. Yeah, even bombs that don't get the medic kill like that.
They want to stay. They want to stay. They want to take this exchange. They might drop Scratch. They actually are going to drop Scratch. It's going to be XL and Asian now. Both Ubers are going to end now, but they do have a demo. Recruso on the high ground, and there's actually a lot of players on the high ground. And demo is shooting down.
Oh my God, Recruso, no respect there. Just takes down Sam and Exile. Oh my God.
Recruso's unstoppable, but Red also had players on the high ground just shooting down at them. That was an impossible scenario to win, pretty much. But Recruso taking the match into his own hands, getting a 2K, and Recruso. And there goes Kev. So Kev gonna feed as well, and dang, it's gonna be hurt, but that's it. As very late Uber and the Covenant back on last again.
Yep. We're going to have some time to work with, at least, for the side of, the Covenant. Despite Kev being dead, it's not that big of a respawn timer, so even though 3D3M get in through here, Kev is already up, just couldn't control the doorways. Nice damage on the Raph. Goomba mid-air from one of the soldiers. Warwick's unable
Kev hits a headshot, I heard it, there it is. Kev hit the double.
And the arrow from Aizen as well.
Oh, Kev hit a nutty shot. I just saw that on the replay. My goodness. Kev needs to calm down a little, as that's going to be 3 people dead for the side of the Covenant, and actually 4 people.
Try to go for a play.
It's just Raph and Dank building. They're going to get the Uber for mid here, but they might not have the play. They're going to get the votes.
Yeah, big opportunity lost to try to take a hold of the opponent's lasses. Back to mid we go, and with Recruso still dead, they're trying to buy some space, and lower is actually uncovered, like, completely. Uber
they're going to get forced early, and Dank is very
the other team. Yeah, Dank's a little bit far back. They will finally bomb, and Grapejuice will have to give up his life to make sure that
here comes a nuke, though. There's a nuke, and they're getting trapped in by VOD. VOD bombing and getting Asian caught in the corner. Asian, they might get out. Scratch isn't going to get out, but Asian managed to get it in the end. Walrus is going to die as well, so that is a counter pick, but being down as Scat Soldier is going to make this pretty tough. Recruso's just in, and Recruso has no respect. Look at him, he's just running in, going to run back, get healthy, and the Covenant, they might have to back up here, but Sam's caught in. He's going to see if he can trade or do something. Unable to do much there. Raph going to fall, but the Covenant just can't win these team fights.
Yeah, didn't get the memo, didn't have the right positioning about the team departing, and 3-3M's kind of going wild with some of these dry fights, as we're actually beginning another one. They have to win this fast, though. Frieza goes straight to the point. They know they have respawners not in their favor. Immediately baiting Scratch, and the corner cap from one of the soldiers. Crypt doing so much work there. The point time crazy, but Exile on the field as heavy. I don't think they have the damage to deal with this, and they recognize that, especially they do have ad. If they get
I think they're just going to immediately refight, though. This is going to make this fight so much easier. The fact that the point's already half-capped.
Yeah.
If they tend to go, they're actually not going to go. Okay. They're going to settle into maybe see some Kryptonite Spy. Kryptonite, would you consider Kryptonite an off-classer or just a soldier player?
No. Not an off-classer.
Not an off-classer? Okay.
No.
Crypt has played Highlander, though. I think it's possible. Just maybe untapped potential.
Yeah, but just a soldier player at heart. It's just not his thing.
I mean,
especially because he's on the pocket roll ring for this
I mean, that
team,
doesn't stop Kev.
Yeah, but it would stop him. He'd be like, okay, as a ringer, I have a responsibility to
I have a responsibility to talk for.
I have a responsibility to do what Paul Dog would do, and Paul Dog probably wouldn't get off soldier, so
Fair enough. Yeah, other than the rare occasional Paul Dog sniper, which is, granted, pretty rewarding. But speaking of sniper, Scratch gonna be on sniper, gonna take some, take a little bit of damage, actually. Gonna get healthy, gonna peek, but Cookie Cutter for the side of 3DM, trying to break this last hold, as there's just a carpet of stickies, and Scratch is peeking behind them, and he's peeking very deep.
Pretty aggressively. They tried to double spam the gun through lower, but actually Dank wasn't healing them lower, so it's not going to be successful. And actually Recruso's going to die, so that's one down. That's their quote-unquote sack as, the Covenant. They can make some moves here. It's actually Grape just getting in lobby and finding Dank alone. They didn't have their coverage over the side of the shutter, so overall, the force comes out, unable to really use this Uber to try to break into last at all. Have to be careful. The gun's still up, but Grape Juice is going to die. Raph able to use the cover to make sure that Soldier does indeed get sent to the grave. Have the Uber, though, for the side of the Covenant. They're poking around through the lobby to the shutter side, mind the traps through bats, and how about door choice here? They know they don't have Grape Juice up quite yet. Might see some sort of shenanigans.
Oh, XL baited the trap.
Oh, Conch?
XL did bait their trap. Oh my god, they're so fast. The Red's so far out, it didn't even matter. I think someone yelled Conch and they just dipped. I like the theory there, but didn't end up working.
You have to pop that so early and just hold it, because that was the warning signal. They're just in now.
They're just in. Yeah, maybe, although we do have Grape Juice going in, they're going to get crit. They're actually going to trade a lot of players, but in the end, it's just going to be... They have to get Dank if they're not... Who isn't careful? Dank is 83% already. Scratch going to actually end up cratering on the ground, going to get Wallrex. Sam's behind. Sam's behind, going to try to live. Going to collect the pack, but... After all that chaos, all it did is buy a little bit of time, but maybe not that much. We'll see.
Yeah, that conch screwed them over so hard. It's like, hey, we're pushing now. We're gonna Uber through. Time to hold your S key. So that, like, Kev kind of screwed over his team.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they don't pop, like, I don't think they realized that the Snakeys were dead. They popped to not all die to the trap though. If they don't die to that trap though, they can just get in so fast that it's gonna be impossible to spam them. So
It'd be super 5-head to use the conch as like a warning signal and then just try to like dry in, like milk in.
Really like you could walk through the trap so fast the demo might not dead at the time.
True, he's an only human.
He's only human. Speaking of, we do actually. Oh, XL.
Deja vu, losing a scout to the sniper. We'll see how things unravel.
Different sniper, same result as it's gonna end up being 2 soldiers in lower, and Grape Juice gonna get nuked by Recluso, but Recluso gonna peek the door and greedily die to XL. XL gonna die, Crypt gonna die, everyone just dying. If they're going in lower, they're gonna get forced in the door. The timing there from Kev.
Still super deja vu of the force happening in lower after scout death. This time it was way more chaotic though. Much more people fell for that one, but we're just in an infinite loop. It appears as the Covenant they gave up some things, but able to take the Uber out of the equation and have an Uber ad for their own. Do we have another conch to signal that the Uber's about to happen? So the 33 just runs away. No conch. So.
No Kev, no shenanigans. As there are going to be actually, they're going to clear one trap, but there's a second trap. They're going to choose the correct door though.
Oh,
no Snakeys. Yeah, they're going to milk through. No Snakeys were called, so that's going to make things pretty easy. But Grape Juice and Wallrex and Crypt actually going to bomb. They're going to try to get this force. AZ doing a great job surfing, but going to have to pop in lower. They're going to trade both soldiers for it, but they get Exile. So 2 for 1 and a force. I think you take those.
You're fine with that. You can just hold S and wait for your funnels, and I think the Covenant kind of know that they can poke around to see if anything's free, but this is not a fight they really win long term. See, they're in lower now, poke it, no one's close. Screw it. Or they're back to their own too. They know what the situation is. The soldiers are arriving to mid now. The Uber is now in the equation for the side of 3-3, and all you gotta do is pick a door now. As Exile, he's already on Engineer at last. If they milk this could be really good. If they just pop straight off the bat, that could be really bad. As Grape Juice tried to do a blind bomb, bit of an off timing there. We'll escape.
He can go for another bomb if he wants. Actually, Kev's gonna get enough.
The surf from Dank though, a little bit too good.
Yeah, a little bit too good indeed. Dank throwing the question mark out at Kev, but that bought a lot of time. Those 2 delayed soldier bombs, they were at 85%. They might get this in time for the push.
Gun is actually on the point this time, but yeah, the Uber's in the equation.
Speaking of which, Grape Juice gonna get air shot by Crypt, but they have Uber. I don't know if they quite realize it. They're still in, but neither team has to pop. But you have to get on the point at some point. As Sam, they're gonna Uber to get the point, but they're gonna get Raph. Sam hitting the pipe, and Red didn't use the Uber. They got in. They got the force with the space because they figured they'd Uber in, but that was a really wise decision from 3D3. I'm just not using.
It was really good by them to recognize they could be a little bit greedy with it and didn't have to just pop straight through like in a small Uber. They can use the players to make some space and just decided that a sack is a better option. They Uber to the left side, aware of a sniper that doesn't exist. Getting on this heavy. This heavy's gonna melt.
Yeah, but they got XL. That's worth. As there's a lot of damage in lower, and that was a pretty much complete wipe from 3D3M. So the Uber head in the end not gonna work. Crypt's gonna get Sam, but that's gonna be a Dank. Maybe he can get out. We'll see. Yeah.
If you're gonna pop straight through a doorway, I don't know why you would choose the left side unless their team is just right there. Maybe they thought they were holding close left or something, but it's gonna bite them. They didn't find anything with the Uber at all. Only when they got onto Exile, they killed the heavy. The Uber's already over. It's not really a big deal.
They're just trying.
Yeah, they know that there's not players here from the side of the Covenant that have finished respawning it. And
Wallrex lands on the pack. Yeah, that's huge. He actually is able to live there. He bought so much space they had to go back from. And look at this health from the demo. The demo just has the health rolling out, and now it's infinite overtime. Head team got to be really careful. They're actually going to use, but they're going to get
Grape Juice.
Rakusa's behind.
Grape Juice takes out Dank. He flanked all. He knew that it was not going to be a good situation.
Rakusa is super behind, and I don't think they have any idea.
Oh, he is super behind. Yeah, it's going to salvage something. So at least.
They're all turning back for him, but Rakusa, he's running an XL. Can he hit it? Unfortunately, not a 1v1. As Crypt is going to spam a bit, going to end up backing up as the Covenant. They only need to get 2 more rounds if they want to win this. Actually, yeah, Covenant needs to get 2 more rounds. 3v3 just need to get 1 more round, and they will come out victorious in this match. We are approaching infinite overtime.
Yeah, really good job from them recognizing the hole that was open on the side of Saw to make sure that things spiral out of control in this direction for them. Nice sticky from Sam onto Walrus, taking down the red soldier there. Is Crypt actually really weak as well? Might be Raph that falls, but nope, just gonna be the one soldier. I think they've recognized that they're so close to Uber for the side of the Covenant that you definitely don't want to fight that. As they're back to their own last, they don't really have any outclasses. Uber comes through. There's no gun to shoot, just go straight to the spawn, getting a lot of damage on Vonnie in the pipes through the spawn door, unable to use the reset line, and not only Vonnie, but Raph will die as well. They're stacking the cap. Soldiers are bombing forward, but they're not quite in position, and the lack of setup. Really nice play from Sam to take down Vadi just at the by a hair to make sure that it doesn't just respawn and come back up later. He's able to tie up the game 2-2. This might be a repeat of last time's score of a 3-2, but the question is in whose favor will it be?
Speaking of whose favor, I guess not really speaking of, but AZN has 3 DOMs and 110 points already. So AZN, I can already tell he's going to have a look very good on the logs. As heading into this mid, this is a mid you don't want to lose disastrously. How do you do that? And apparently it's you full send it trying to get Kev. They're going to succeed, but they got Vadi.
Dank's not healing this entire time,
AZN might fall. They got to be careful. They are going to get AZN, and Dank's still alive. This could be a disaster for the Covenant. He gets Dank!
And he gets Raph as well. He's alive! Just Walrex left alive from the side of 3D3M, collects a pack, and knows that these players are weak, and if he finds them in a 1v1 scenario, that he could go for it, but sees the ×5. He has to try to go for
×5. He's going to try to get it. He's going to try to get the demo, but the demo's going to get the pack, and that was a massive salvage from Sam there. That was almost a disaster for the Covenant.
Yeah, definitely in my medic died, I got to really full send it no matter what mode, and does even more than that, so big play from the side of Sam to lead kind of things in the Covenant's favor. As they own mid, they're actually getting a lot of cap time. 3D3M, they could maybe technically stop this, but with Walrus being such a late death, it'd be kind of hard. In difficult situations like this, where it's 2-2, infinite overtime, you screw up, you're end the game, then, you know, I guess it kind of makes sense. Go to last, play it safe. Just play around something defensive.
Especially because with the lowered round timer, you only have 3 minutes to hold last, you know? It's the Covenant. Also, the Covenant likes to take their time. So I think you're content sitting here for a bit, knowing that the Covenant's gonna, you know, they're gonna get all their ducks in a row, get everything ready before they really get going here.
Peeking around, we got a spot where the gun is and figure out where exactly Dank is sitting. He's over. He was over by the Chuck actually, not normally where medics stand is.
Not normally.
Yeah, I mean, they normally just sit around the in the forward hold situation, but they were holding back.
Crypt is in. Crypt actually gonna die. AZN 20 HP. Gonna get the little pill bottle, so that's gonna be her. But Scratch is in. Scratch is gonna fall. We do have another soldier bomb in, and Grape Juice is in spawn. They're making space for Kev. Kev's gonna get in. He's gonna get Walrex, but Kev gonna get hunted down by the rest of the team. And that is a 3-man. No kills, but they do get 2 players. So Covenant actually look like they want to peek out here, despite being down so many players. Scratch is gonna spawn. The respawns are gonna get there sooner, but they gotta be really careful about any backcaps, and Body's gotta be careful. If he does, it could be a disaster for Crusoe. Down to 7 HP. I think that's going to signal the retreat.
Yeah, it was overall just a 3v3, both teams having respawners. They left the gun still on last, so can't really do anything there. As do have both teams respawning on Sniper, saying that this is going to be the play, but Walrex is checking. They will know the Sniper is available. I think he was probably succeeded in seeing that Scratch is on Sniper, so yeah, no surprises there. We know an SBS is potentially upcoming, but Scratch, is it Shutter? Actually, seeing some body finds Grape Juice, so that's the first death. He's still holding his angle though, and hits the shot as soon as Crypt opens the door.
That is unfortunate.
And gets inside lobby and dies as well.
Yeah.
No soldiers.
There's no soldiers gonna make this very easy to peek on Sniper. It's just really a demo and scouts to stop you. And look at Scratch peeking. Dank's hiding in the corner. They're all they know it's just Vadi to stop this. Vadi finally arriving, gonna do a bit of damage, but Kev is in. He's gonna try to sink onto Dank, and he's gonna get the force, but Dank surfs up, and actually that's a pretty good surf. People might get caught in. And well, enough time for the reinforcements to come.
They salvaged that real hard. I thought that was going to be really awkward for the side of 3D3M to buy enough time to make sure they got respawners in the timing of the post. But not only did they do that, but they managed to have enough spam to take down AZN as well. They're a bit ballsy, but aggressive from the side of the Covenant, thinking that it was, oh, it's so free. But I guess they didn't recognize exactly how close to the door they were still playing. I feel like a lot of times when you lose enough players, there's plenty of teams that don't full out send it on one door because they know that if they choose the wrong door, then they just get flanked and lose. But, you know, they definitely chose the correct door to stuff, and it worked out in their favor, but not enough to get them out of the prison of last. As Scratch in drop down. Grape Juice going to fall to some spam from the side of Crypt, but it might still be the Scratch show still hiding in drop down. It's going to be on him to really break this stalemate. As they had a soldier poking around in the lobby, and it's going to be Crypt to see if he can maybe get some sort of counter sack out of the way. Might die to Scratch. still poking around, but no, gets out of lobby through lower. It's fine, but it does win the SVS versus Raph, though. Nice body shot. It's actually
he gets nuked immediately. Oh, Kev,
the skybox
avoids the air shot, you know, avoids any embarrassments happening. No frag video for anyone on 3D3M. As a little close there, but Crypt actually gonna fall in lower. Only 30 seconds left, and that is a late death. And with 20-second respawn, Crypt dropping a frowny face in chat. Sad about that one. Sad vibes tonight.
There's a little bit of room. I actually have a... Did I hear a heavy? Okay, no. I heard a heavy, but they got off. But they're actually Ubering. I think because of the time. They don't want to full reset this, so... Uber, able to take on the gun. Dank still has his, though they really have to get some sort of, like, drop here. Make Dank drop a lot of players. Going over towards the point, though.
A point time does help.
Over. They got some point time.
Oh, there's the force, but Scratch gonna fall as well. And they're just gonna have to drive, but they're already down to. This is gonna be kind of scuffed, and Crypt doing God's work. They're doing a lot of damage, and they can't even get through the door. They got their drop down, but at what cost?
All four at one door. They get the first, they get the second. It's just two left alive. Trying to work their way over to the point. Sam, Melt, Hazen.
That's a round reset.
That's a round reset.
Indeed.
Both these teams kind of showed promise to like kind of crack the shell a little bit, but just wasn't enough to really, you know, full send in either direction.
Yeah. Well, they tried it, but back to another mid. So this mid, I said the last one was important, but I guess it ended up not mattering. Is now this one might be for all the marbles. Let's see the other round reset. Very possible.
Yeah, could be. You never know what'll happen. I think the last mid we saw a lot of damage onto Dank, and even though he wasn't able to heal people, 3-3M still did a lot of damage. So I'm kind of curious if they're going to be able to get something more cohesive and maybe take the mid this time, or if the Covenant is going to come out with a different plan and maybe keep their medic alive. Azen, you know, got to keep your meta, but actually fakes coming in from the soldiers. No one really committing. Actually, Walrex went behind. High gun control from the side of the Covenant. Get some damage.
Scratch is going to drop down to 2. Both scouts are single digit.
They're combined 5 HP, but it's going to be the Raft that's going to be the first one to fall. That's crazy for a Walrex all the way behind, unable to really do anything right now. And I think 3-3M, yeah, they recognize
they
get out of there.
Yeah, they gotta get out of there. They don't want to be stuck on last again. That's so. The Covenant gotta
crazy.
Yeah, both scouts were single digit HP, but not man, and Walrex is behind.
And that's why, especially why they left. They can't play off the one player advantage if Walrex needed to go collect packs. Basically 2 dead at that point for the.
They know Walrex is behind. Future. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look at Grape Juice, and they're going back for him. It's all about the time. These things are all about the timing, though. That's gonna be a pretty unfortunate time for Walrex. Grape Juice is gonna land. Walrex is gonna get the pack, but gonna eat an immediate direct. And Walrex is getting a bit bullied right now. Doesn't get air shot. Oh, nice attempt there, but gonna end up winning in the end. As what was happening on the other side of the map? I see
nothing. It was extremely disappointing that 3D3M didn't use the fact that they had a player advantage.
They should say, oh, there's 2 players on me. It's a 5v4.
Right. They kind of poked around, but they didn't actually clear the stickies to let anyone walk through. So a very big missed opportunity for the side of 3D3M. But maybe it's them playing scared, or they just want to play hyper safe. But that comes in from Kev, well, people, not Grape Juice. I think because he was going back to kill Walrus behind. But it could just be the Kev sniper play. Yeah, something like that. I mean, Spy here, that'd be so slow. It'd be kind of hard to pull off, but it's the Covenant, so.
Well, Kev actually on Soldier. All right, so no off classes for Kev, no memes today. Kev is all serious business today. As arriving, not even on a banner or anything humorous, just on gunboats. So they're the Covenant. Maybe they don't want to show their hand to or before playoffs here. No, that's the can't show off too many
traps.
Memes.
Oh, it doesn't dead on Scratch. Scratch still alive. Grape Juice in Saw alone. As they're
probably now they did.
They recognize that Sam is lower, so Saw is not trapped. They're just running at Grape Juice. This time
they're also running at body.
Scratch
Gotta be careful. Oh, that was a massive surf. That was
really
a crazy surf, actually.
Yeah.
Usually from Scratch getting out there. Him dying could have been quite disastrous, but Grip's gonna be really hurt, can end up getting a bow, gonna get buffed up, but in the meantime, while that's happening, there is a bomb happening, and Grape Juice is landing it. Dank having a really nice surf, but the pack is taken by some sneaky soldier player, probably, or Percuso, who knows. So Dank, get to the
dead on. Yeah, Crip's not very healthy. Poking around a bit, they're not really doing anything. I'm kind of not satisfied with the level of aggression that 3-3M is putting wall.
Maybe they just want to round reset again.
I don't know, maybe. There's not trying to really break in at all. Maybe they're kind of afraid that if they sack in, it's going to be trash, and that it would just
If we keep doing mids, eventually we'll win.
It's like it's like the Badlands where you're like, I don't want to counter sack when I'm on Badlands second, because then they're just going to do some extra stuff while I'm dead, and that's going to suck. So let's just stay alive.
I mean, I feel like sacking into mid is very, very hard. I don't blame him.
That's actually Kev. It's a double.
See a double, but Dank, he's gonna actually surf back in. Dank might have to use here. Oh, he's gonna drop.
Too many soldiers to keep track of. He looked at the wrong one.
Too many soldiers to keep track of. There is a 1 health per as well. That is 2 soldiers down, so they're gonna have to wait for the respawns to fight, but they are gonna have full Uber at 2 push second here. So 3D3M, they got a task, and Raph is on sniper, and I actually like that call. I think this is if they go lower, try to take this slow, this could easily turn a 3D3 in favor if Raph hits the shot.
Yeah, and the Covenant has been playing pretty slow with their Ubers, just spare the ones of like getting out of last. You can kind of see Scratch actually poking through lower, clearing traps. They do want to take this slow through lower, so a good read from the side of Raph, but the wrong door, he's in cheese.
He gets great juice though, that's a pick.
That's not the vital kill though, he needs more than that.
Oh, but there's two soldiers going in,
AZN.
He's gonna bomb, they get the force, AZN felt too much, and that is gonna be uber red, but they're gonna get the point. That's gonna reset the time though, which means it's infinite overtime, right? If you lose this, you lose the match. It's so stressful to push out a last on 40% ad here. I don't know if they do it.
Well, Walrux is behind, which means it's easier for you to get back capped unless you wipe them really hard.
Do they know Walrux is behind though? Because look at Walrux. Grape Juice has. Wait, the long con. He
wants to come from a different angle. Did he hear that medic call? Did he also get the information that Scratch is?
He's just waddling. I think they know.
Walrux probably heard Scratch call for medic. Is like they have a sniper, by the way.
Hopefully.
Maybe not. They're poking around. They saw the dot on the wall. VOD definitely saw the dot on the wall.
Okay. But this is
It's too little, too late though. You definitely can't go with this now.
Yeah, but Walrux, the timing, he's been behind for so long that there's no way they know. But it's all about the timing though. So Walrux could make this perfect play, and someone could just turn around and troll him.
He has to wait for someone to die, but at the same time, you have one less person to actually spam doors. This could be really bad if they're unable to actually get a handle on spamming down Scratch. There's less rockets.
Walrux is going now. He's going.
It's the same play. The Soldier peek shutter and just dies to the open shutter.
Walrux is behind it. They have no idea. He's going in massive damage. Gets the force, but he is gonna die. So they get an Uber for the 2-man. They get Grape Juice, so that's a pretty decent pick. Dank's still on full Uber, and Raph is in lower. Who is that scout? That scout actually lived for a long time, but there's 2 players in.
Oh,
Kev Bomb, he's going in onto Dank. Dank passes surf. Scratch is peeking.
Oh, he's taken out.
Scratch gonna fall. Raph gonna fall. And all they're gonna see all players in front at some point, which means they can back up. Raph gonna go in there, gonna spot, and not holding anyone on last means that this is gonna be a clean second retake with 40% ad. I don't know if they take this to mid. Maybe they'll take it mid. We'll see.
This game is rubber banding so hard in terms of pace. It's so slow, then it's so fast. The trap. Oh, okay. Kev was spotting it for Sam the Death, but they cleared it in time. There's a secondary one set up, and mind the spam from the Soldiers.
Grape Juice. They're gonna actually bomb Grape Juice. Grape Juice. He's so hurt. He's 14. He's gonna get him in Walrux. He's 9 HP. There's no way. He lived!
He lived with one. The Uber exchange goes out, and actually, as Rakutha's on top of the point, they have one behind, though, in Kev. Sam able to take down Raph.
Soldiers are hurt, though. They can't get it. Kev's in. Massive collapse from Kev. As VOD, he's gonna hit a pipe, but this is turning into a disaster for 3D3M. This might be a full wipe, unless Walrux can make a miracle happen yet again.
They had to flash so much, and their post was definitely not favorable. Walrux, he has to really go for a miracle here. Do you go for the play once again?
Grape Juice is gonna spot him.
Yeah. There's a Soldier in Saw. He's like, what do I do? Oh, jump away?
They're on last already. Crypt is on sniper in spawn. Actually gonna die in the spawn door. Raph is on NG, but it's too little too late. They're on the cap. Can they block the cap? Rakusa gonna block the cap. And that's gonna be the match. It's the same repeat as last time score-wise. Deja vu.
Yeah. Rocky road for the side of the Covenant, but once again are able to take victory 3-2 on Snakewater, a repeat of the result of the match that happened earlier this season.
Indeed, a repeat of the match that happened earlier this season. 3-2, even the Covenant saying, I love 3-2 games, as, yeah, that one, those two teams were very close despite the difference in wins. When they play each other, at least on this map, it is a nail-biter every time.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely the trend. It's like, we said it in the very beginning of the season, any team that is even somewhat near the middle of the pack is able to like produce these like crazy close games, no matter who their opponent is. It doesn't matter if they're so insanely better or worse. It'll still somehow
score guesser. Start out the peck line.
Sometimes you just know what's going to happen. You're a prophet.
Yeah, sometimes you do just know what's going to happen. How was the round time? Who won that one?
That's a good question. How much over the stalemate took multiple stalemates took so long that I actually don't know. I feel like
it's like that was like a 45-minute game.
I can't guesstimate the amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know
because it wasn't barely over.
Yeah, it was a 42-46. So looks like shout out to Tuba, Wild Rumpus, Mrs. L, and then from there those are.
They saw the stalemate from a mile away.
Tuba Brickall just a genius. What can we say? 15 seconds off.
He got a peek at the script.
Wasn't the last one 42 minutes as well? I guess 42?
Now I kind of want to go look at the log of the one they played before. And see how that one
the last match we casted was 42 minutes as well. That's just the perfect time, I guess.
Something about the number 42, you know? It's almost has some sort of culture in the internet.
True. But regardless,
do have the logs here.
you have the logs. Kev actually gonna top death, top damage, take the most damage in the server. Kev was just playing the game.
It took a bit to really get the ball rolling, though, as you can kind of see Verkusa actually be the one that tops the kill charts, as he was, throughout the whole match, definitely for sure, but in the beginning, he was topping the scoreboard and the kills by a very large margin compared to everyone else. So definitely had a very good lead there, and it kind of kept up even if the DPM didn't.
It's funny that the scouts for the losing team ended up having the most kills, but makes sense. There was a lot of sacking happening, so those are free kills. And Rakusa did make some miracles happen at various points in the match, so not surprising Rakusa at the top there. He was putting in a lot of work. Putting in the most work with the least heals in the server, too, which is very impressive.
Yep, just gotta find the right timing as a flank scout. You don't want to end up feeding, but you definitely want to make sure that once the distraction's there, you go in. And I feel like every time I saw Rakusa run in, he got at least 2 people.
Oh yeah, it was every time he did see the opportunity, it was worked out very well.
But the Covenant, they didn't play flashy at all when it came to their scouts, and it was extremely stable. I feel like for the side of the Covenant, like obviously, it was rocky in terms of like they lost a bit and had to claw back in the second half of the game as it went on. But it felt like there wasn't a giant moment where like, oh, like this person's kind of failing their team and or carrying. They were just completely stable and made some adjustments to kind of tweak things in their favor near the end of it to tie things up and win the overtime.
Indeed.
Sometimes the stability is all that you need. You don't need to go for any crazy play. Well, there were some crazy plays though.
Yeah, who kept on to Asian? Asian got 2 kills on Rakusa, 1 on VOD and 1 on Raft. So Asian fragging down on Medic, going 4 and 6, pretty good.
Those arrows do a lot of damage long range.
He almost, yeah, he did. There's a couple pushes where someone just immediately got bowed, and there's sad players.
Just shoot the door on their way out.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like these grass fights, both teams know it's over at a certain point, but it still takes a long while to actually exit grass and get back to mid, and then that's just an easy pre-fire.
Yeah.
Connect and maybe get a kill.
Yeah, definitely happened a couple times, but I don't think the Covenant really likes to do interviews. Let's see, maybe they'll head in, but if not, anything else? Unless the Covenant decides that.
No, it's probably time to go over to the shout out phase. Any final thoughts or shout outs before we wrap things up, Space?
Shout out both teams playing a good match. Shout out to the repeat, the 3-2 again. Shout out to everyone watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast, and shout out to Skis.
Yep, definitely shout out to the team for playing, especially the Covenant for Chad re-picking the map that was rocky last time. Like, no, we can do better, and maybe they did better performance-wise. Maybe they didn't via score, but yeah, it's the experience. And at the end of the day, they still come out on top. Shout out to all the viewers for watching. For future casts, I don't think we have anything tomorrow, Wednesday, but Fryo G6 is on Thursday. Mark your calendars. You do not want to miss it. The top 2 teams. Potentially, I mean, I guess technically Fryo Tech got upset loss, but you're probably going to want to see if they're going to be able to bounce back or do anything different to try to take on G6 and have some revenge over was it Metalworks match last time? I think it was
Metalworks, I think, yeah.
So Metalworks is a bit of a unique map, and I think the final pickings were I heard it was they're choosing between Process, Sunshine, and Sultry. And maybe by the time I'm saying this, that's actually already decided and on the match page. But either way, it's gonna be one of those 3 maps. So we'll see if it's some cookie cutter scout gameplay, or if it's gonna be the new map of Sultry. But either way, that's going to be one you don't want to miss. And Dolphin just informed me it is the classic baby's first map of Process. So, it's a staple. It's you kind of, not very many teams ban Process, so it kind of makes sense you eventually fall onto it. It's Process season after all. But that's going to be the big one we're looking for Thursday. Don't miss it. After that, you have to wait for everything to reset, and we can go ahead and get some or more matches scheduled for the next week. But that'll be it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Jarrett, casting with Space Ghost with Dolphin on production. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.